Hi, so I'm Elliot. I'm also known as Refold97 on the Refold's Discord servers. And I wanted to make a little review, share my experience with Refold, as I've been using it to learn a bit of Spanish last year, and then to learn Russian, and I've been doing it for 1 year. So I'm just going to cover Spanish pretty quickly. I I had Spanish classes again after like 3 years of not doing Spanish in my school. And so I wanted to get back to a decent level, but I sucked. And I tried to, find grammar tables and things like that to understand how it works. And I managed to have a pretty basic level, but nothing exceptional, and I wasn't able to speak really. So what I did is doing a lot of research, and I discovered Stephen Kaufman, I discovered Mad vs. Japan, and I discovered Days of French and Swedish. These were the three YouTubers that really intrigued me and inspired me, and I really resonated with what they were saying. At the same time, I was using Busu to increase a bit my level of Spanish. Busu is an app, and it's also available on computer. And I liked it. I liked it for Spanish. I think it helped me to get really started. But that's an app, and I don't think an app can really bring you fluency. But at least it was a beginning. And then I discovered Refold. Like, not Refold, but I discovered Mad vs. Japan, and a few months after I discovered Refold, so I understood the importance of input. So I started to read Percy Jackson in Spanish, and I read other books like Atomic Habits, some fantasy books from Brandon Sanderson. I really liked it. I watched a lot of YouTubes, and so I went in Spain for an internship from May to mid-July of 2021. And when I arrived, I was really prepared. Like, I felt a bit exhausted at the end of the day because of hearing the language, but that wasn't too much. I didn't have like headaches and things like that. And I don't know, I just felt very comfortable from the very beginning, even if I learned a lot and I became a lot better in Spanish through my experience in Spain. But Refold really permitted me to feel comfortable in the country, and I liked it a lot. So I wanted to give it a shot with Russian, because how to say it, because I've been attracted to Russian since I'm 12. As I remember, when I was 12, we had, like, in my middle school, we had Russian classes, but they stopped pretty quickly because, like, there were only me and two persons interested, so there were very little persons interested in Russian. So I decided to learn it myself. My parents bought me a book a method to learn Russian. It wasn't a similar, but it was similar. And I thought I would become fluent with that. And unfortunately, I didn't. I didn't stick to this method. So I thought Russian was just too hard, but I kept meeting Russian speakers throughout my life that I really liked. And so I really wanted to learn Russian. So when I understood that I just wasn't doing the good things, and I started refolding, I thought, oh my god, I can do that with Russian. So when I come back from Spain, I dabbled a bit with Spanish, like a few weeks, and then at the end of August, I decided to start with Russian. So that's what I did. I found videos of, the channel was Russian to the World. I found videos of this channel with very basic conversations, with the subtitles in Russian and the subtitles in English below them. And that helped me to get a sense of what is Russian, how does it sound like, and that permitted me to get started. I downloaded the audio of like 2 or 3 videos, and I was listening to them before sleeping. But and also I was doing a bit of Anki. Like I wrote down some vocabulary that I learned in these videos in Anki, and that helped me. But it was very very hard at the beginning, and I wasn't in a good mental state either. So I don't know if it's due to the fact that Russian is very different from French, or if it is because I wasn't in a good mental space. But or maybe it is a combination of the two factors. Anyway, so I really struggled the first month, and after the first month, I think I discovered Kurnia. Kurnia is a show that is very very popular in Russia. It's a slice of life show that is it's like an immersion in a French restaurant in Russia, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it, so I decided to watch a few episodes. And throughout the 3 first months, I I watched like 60 episodes, something like this, and I didn't like it enough to continue. Like I don't know, I just thought it sucked a bit, so I didn't continue with that, and I was quite desperate because I didn't know what to learn. Oh no, not what to learn, but I didn't know which which immersion material to watch. I watched a bit of Russian with Max, that is a comprehensive YouTube channel, and a lot of Russian progress, and that kept me going. But the thing is, these are great YouTube channels to start learning Russian, and I was quite happy when I was listening to them, like while I was walking, that I could understand quite like a fair amount of audio without even subtitles. But that wasn't engaging enough. Like, it's not content that I'm really really interested in. It's not like my passion to listen to comprehensible Russian channels. And so I tried to find cooking contents as I watched Kurnia. I knew I had like a little basis of cooking vocabulary, so I watched a lot of YouTube channels of this kind, but cooking is not my passion. I like it, but it's not my passion. So I was still struggling with just being engaged with the content I was watching, and that really was the biggest struggle to me. And it's not anymore, but I will continue on my story. So during this time, so this period lasted a few months, I think until December. So that's like 4 months, something like this. And I also picked a Enki deck of the 3,000 most common words in Russian, and I didn't really like it. I think it was okay, but not really good. But I added the words in my own deck because I prefer to make my own deck than using one that than someone else made. So I added them in my own deck, and little by little I was getting more and more vocabulary. I think I went through the first 1,000 words that were in there, and then I stopped using it. And I kept immersing. The most important part, I think, in my Russian journey is I did something in Russian every day. Like, either I watched the video, or I kept doing my Enki, or I read something, and most of the time I wasn't immersing like even 2 hours per day. I think in average until December I think I was immersing like 1 hour average per day, even maybe lower. So that explains my slow progress. But the problem is I didn't know any immersing content that really kept me engaged. So this, and January I dabbled with cooking content still, but I decided to make like a specific deck. So I had an objective. I wanted to make a cooking deck in Russian, and so I watched a lot of cooking content, and I wrote down every vocabulary, every word I didn't know, and I think my deck is like 220 notes, something like this. So I shared it with French, and I have to translate it in English. So that gave me a goal to continue practice Russian. And then I watched some sport content like calisthenics and working out and this kind of thing. And that was like the second domain I immersed in. But then my YouTube Russian account was like only fitness content, and I enjoy fitness, but I don't want it to be everything. So yeah, it was really hard to get engaged with content. I watched a few Disney movies while I had COVID, and I really liked them, and I understood quite a few. Yeah, and I think the struggle that one of the struggles that I had is I used my main YouTube account to immerse, and that was a mistake because I always had videos in Spanish, English, and French that were in my recommendations, and so I even if I wanted to watch Russian content, I always clicked on the French or English videos. So that was not very effective. And in May, I think I decided to create a special YouTube account, and I had like a non-official YouTube app where I had my normal YouTube account, and it was hidden in my applications, so I wasn't too tempted to watch French or English videos. And the YouTube app with my Russian account was pretty visible, on the lower bar of my phone, and so I was always more tempted to learn Russian. To watch Russian content on YouTube. But the thing is, little by little, I got used to find my hidden app, and so to watch French and English content. So what I did is I decided to delete the app with French content and English content. So now to access my French YouTube account, I have to like go on my browser on my phone, and it's fine, but it's not very, very attractive. So I spend more time than before on my Russian account. So that's a strategy I found, and I started to find more content that I was engaged with, like self-improvement content, fitness content, Reddit posts, like translated Reddit posts, and this kind of thing. I also found some interesting content about art, and that helped me. Also, during May and June, I was reading my very first book in Russian. Like, I finished my very first book in Russian because I attempted several times to read books in Russian, but I didn't succeed in. So I read Atomic Habits again. As I already knew the content, that was easier. And also, I wanted to remind myself what was in the book. So I was truly deeply interested in it. and that was nice. And there were a lot of vocabulary that was repeated throughout the book. It's not like a fantasy book where you have to, the scenes are always described differently, and there are a lot of descriptions, and it's very hard. No, a self-improvement book is more poor in terms of language, so that was a good choice. I finished it. I was pretty proud. I learned a lot of words, and what I was doing is just reading it like when I had time, and like on the noon break or on the lunch break or before sleeping. I was reading consistently, like at least 5 minutes before sleeping, and that's what I did for approximately 1 month. Then I tried a few other books, but I still haven't found any that I really like, that I am engaged enough to continue reading. So I just kept with YouTube during July, June, August, and so in August my girlfriend told me about a manga that was like supposed to be very cute. And so I found this manga in Russian, and I really liked it. And it's called Yotsuba, and it's about a little girl that just moved out, and so she makes new friends, and it's very wholesome. It's very friendly, and the language is pretty simple, but it's it is slice of life domain, and I loved it. The language is pretty simple, but I still learn a lot of words each time I read it. So there are 106 chapters, so I'm going through them, and I really enjoy it. And I think for now I want to focus on slice of life content. And manga is nice because I read scans on the internet, and when I don't know a word, I put the word in Enki, and at the front of the card I add audio, and then at the back of the card I put the translation. And what really helps me to remind the word is I put a screenshot of the manga, of the place where I learned the new word. So that really I saw that my stats on Anki are becoming better and better thanks to reading manga. So I think it's really a good strategy if you're interested in manga or in comics to use them to improve your comprehension and your vocabulary. And so to conclude where I am at now, I can understand pretty much, I don't know, 70% of YouTube videos I watch without subtitles. I've stopped with subtitles because they were too distracting to me. And now that I have a good basis of vocabulary, I don't use them anymore as I have a good basis of vocabulary right now, I don't use them to extract vocabulary. Just I listen and that's it. I don't do intensive immersion with YouTube anymore, or it's very rare. I just do intensive immersion with mangas. And I can speak a bit of Russian. Like, I have a friend from Belarus, and from time to time we speak in Russian. And I know my Russian is kind of broken, but we understand each other if I ask her to repeat. And the other thing is I met like 2 Ukrainian refugees at 2 different occasions, and I was able to have pretty simple conversations because they could speak Russian. So I was able to have a basic conversation, and that was nice. That felt nice. And it was like there was one lady who was like 50. I spoke with her. Like she talked to me in French, and I heard a very, very strong Slavic accent. So I asked her in Russian, "Are you Russian?" And she told me, "No, I'm Ukrainian." And we were going to the same place. So we just walked together for 10 minutes and we talked a bit, and it was very nice. The lady was very nice. She was happy to be in France, and but she looked very happy to find someone who could speak Russian. I guess it's easier for her to connect. So that felt very nice. So that's about my speaking ability. But for now, my grammar is very poor. Like for 1 year, I've just ignored Russian grammar, and it's a mistake. It's a mistake because Russian grammar is so difficult. You have to tackle it little by little, and just keep going, like 5 minutes of grammar a day. But I really didn't like that, and I didn't understand the grammar guides I was reading. So I just dropped. And recently, like 1 week ago, no, 2 weeks ago, I decided to go back with grammar, and I'm pretty consistent. So I'm proud of that. I found an Anki deck about Russian grammar, so that helps me a lot. I think it's much better than a grammar guide. I don't know. For me, it feels easier to understand. So that's about grammar, but for now it's very bad, but I'm more and more focused on it. I think one thing I struggled with Refold is I love the people of the community, and they are great helpers, and I love them. But it's easy, I think, to feel desperate when you are not able to immerse 10 hours a day, and you see people like that are immersing 10 hours a day, and you see Matt vs Japan saying, "Oh, I was like watching animes all day long." And so at first, when I was only immersing like 1 hour a day or even less, I was just thinking, is it even going to work if I immerse only 1 hour a day? And it does. It just takes more time, and you just do like you just have to balance Refold with other aspects of your life. Refold is not dogmatic, and like if I'm invited to a party, or if I have to visit my grandparents, or I have to go to school, or I have to travel, these kind of things. Well, it's normal that I can't immerse, and I just want to be able to do one little thing in Russian every day. And if I'm not able to immerse or to revive my Enki cards for a day, it's okay. One thing I struggled with, and that I don't agree with in the Refold's recommendation, is that you have to optimize every bit of your free time or of your dead time to listen to your target language. And what I observed in myself is that it created me brain fog. I tried it for 2 or 3 months, and I really didn't like it. So that might be a point that I don't agree with, but I think it's just personal difference, and you have to try what works for you and what doesn't. So, to conclude, I love Refold. It really works from my experience and the experience of other people that I know. And I love the community, and I would like to thank everyone who is contributing to the community. And I hope to see you on the Discord servers. Bye bye!